Obviously, this is a very it's a movie that you don't want to spoil too much stuff. It's been kept pretty enigmatic what it's about. Um, and I read your director's statement, and it said that Cuckoo started with a feeling, and it was sort of I'm
Mm,
curious if you like elaborate on that because I was reading that I was like, whoa, what's that mean?
yeah. Well, I think it all always starts with a feeling for me, or you could call it a mood, but I think it's a little bit more concrete because there's stuff connected to it. So I don't call it a mood. It's more like a hidden feeling that I have, and I don't really know it's there for a while, but I carry it around with me. And then certain things bring it out more and more, and it sort of grows. And for Cuckoo, it was a little bit of an anxiety, a feeling of fear. Um, I was finishing up the movie that we did before that called Lose, and I thought nobody will ever watch this movie. We're just doing it for us, for ourselves. And so I was not in a good space at this point. But yeah, then I watched a documentary about the cuckoo bird and how they breed. And that brought out that feeling again. But there was like a hopefulness to it too. Um, um, and so that's sort of like the opening secret that I have a feeling in me. And this is sort of my guiding emotion for a story, right? And then when I work on it long enough, then I understand why I had that feeling to begin with. And that's something very personal. And also I don't like sharing it because it would give you like a key to interpret the movie so quote unquote the right way. And I don't think art should be like that. I don't want to tell people what it is about for
Mhm.
me. I don't want to limit it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a cliche that a location is another character, but obviously, when you set a movie in the resort in the Alps, it is kind of becomes like a
Yeah.
huge part of it.
Yeah.
How'd you end up there? Like, what made you decide to set it there?
Well, it was one of the first things that I sort of found, the first clues that brought out these feelings. The cuckoo birds, how they breed, and the Alps. I love being there, but they have something extremely. It's a very dramatic landscape, like the mountains, right? You feel like you have this arena that you're in, and you can't easily escape. It's immensely beautiful, but it can also be feel like a feeling of you're very small, you're very like exposed to the elements. You can't look over mountains, you can't easily go over mountains. I think it's a beautiful arena for a story.
And how'd you end up casting Hunter in the main role? I mean, obviously she was amazing on Euphoria. I think Sam Levinson, everyone owes Sam Levinson a huge debt because of all the talent he's found for that show.
For
Um,
sure.
is that how you discovered her or them or?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, it was like the classic thing. My manager recommended her to me to check it out, and then I was immediately so impressed by what she did on that show. Then when I saw her tape for Cuckoo, I was sold. It, I just knew she was the right person for it. The way she could be emotional and the emotional connection she had to the character was immediately clear. And so for me, that was it. And we hired her. And then on set, I found out like how good she actually is and how what a beautiful connection she had to the story and the character.
Yeah, I'm really amazed by Dan Stevens because I mean I think we only found out recently that he's fluent in German. He literally could make a German movie, and you would not know if he
Yeah.
wasn't German.
Yep.
What brought you to him for that role?
Sort of same story, casting director. We had originally John Malkovich attached.
Oh
It
wow.
didn't work out for scheduling reasons, and we pushed a bunch over COVID. And then I talked to him on the phone, and we immediately had this understanding of the role. He was telling me about a person he knows, a German person that is kind of wealthy but very esoteric, and we had some good chuckles about that person. And also he introduced himself in German,
Oh.
and I had not seen the movie, so I didn't know he was speaking German, so I almost fell off my chair when he did that. But I knew him as an actor, how good he is, so that was also like a done deal immediately. Yeah.
Well, that goes to show you that being multilingual is actually helpful in life and career for sure. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. So Luz was famously made fairly cheap.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
that was a
this, and
student film.
yeah, yeah. And so this movie, I mean, you did in 35 millimeter. You were able to get a, I mean, it was Luz like a calling card you were able to use to kind of like help get a bigger budget because this is also kind of a strange premise. So it's hard to sell premise, I would assume.
I think for sure. I think everybody that read the script for Cuckoo sort of had Lose as like a way to like read this, but imagine this movie as this, or sort of that vibe or movie making style, maybe, right? So I think it was immensely important. Yeah, I mean, as student movies, best case scenarios go, right? There are the sort of calling cards because you're like very free to do whatever you want, basically. Or you have no money. But if you're, engineered, right, then you get some money from some places.
Mm. And did you want to make sure to push the envelope just as much or more in Cuckoo when you have this I guess it's a studio film. It's still indie, but still, more of a studio.
I don't know. I don't know if I was overly concerned with that. I think, or in a certain regard, maybe because I was trying to get as close to, the world, the idea, the emotion that I had within me, and that organically came out as I guess, as a bit of an odd story or a weird movie, right? And uh, I mean, happily enough, we had this fantastic partners in Neon that were all on board with it.
Yeah. It's funny. For a long time I was confusing this with Long Legs a little bit. Which
Oh
is a
yeah,
which is a good problem to have because obviously your trailer was probably shown in front of Long Legs, which is doing really well. So
oh yeah.
hope,
I heard about that. I'm gonna see Long Legs tomorrow actually because it's not out in Berlin yet, but there's a preview tomorrow. So
oh, nice. Well,
don't spoil it.
I will say that Nick Cage says cuckoo a lot in the movie, make it more
Oh yeah.
confusing. Yeah. So it's like he's advertising your movie as well. So congratulations on that. So
Yeah, that was place hidden advertisement that we agreed on.
nice. Excellent. Perfect. Perfect.